Hey there, Shooby Doodlers, how are you doing? Did you like that new orchestral arrangement in my intro music? That's by Chris Wamper at Clever Notes. Click over here to go and see his channel and see all the amazing music he does. Thanks, Chris. And now I had Liam Patterson made a comment and said, could I maybe draw something not 1950s, something rock and roll? And I couldn't think, and then I thought, on my Patreon site, where I do lots more drawing videos, but they're more kind of tutorial-y kind of videos, and I'm doing a course on there, how to draw cartoon people, which this will become part of. Then one or two people have said, could I draw more women? I draw too many men. And so I thought I could draw a kind of 1950s sort of teenager dancing. And I thought, yes, that would be quite fun. So that's what I'm going to do. In the great big voluminous skirt. And that's my basic plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing around the head like that. And then from the parting I'm going to draw hair coming. So this is really, really simple. And then I'll draw a little bit on the outside there as well, I think. And a little scrunching for the ponytail, which is going to go up and down, and a little flick at the end. And then we want that flick to come kind of like that, and then put a little bit of sort of hair in there like that. And I'm going to make her really, really simple and give her ears and two little dots for eyes and a cute little nose and a cute little smile. Actually, let's give her a little bit more of a smile there. Right. And now, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to give her, put her neck there, and I'm going to give her a kind of a turtleneck kind of collar and bring the shoulders out there. And so we've got the sleeve holes there, and then we want to nip the waist in really, really tight there. So maybe bring the bust in a bit more there. Now we need to do the arms and just curve them around like that. Her thumb will be going there. 2, 3, 4. And then she's going to be sort of being groovy on this hand. And so she'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that hand there. And I think I'll give her a bit of a kind of a sash across there as well. And then we can bring this very full skirt down there. So it's just two curves joined together with a curve at the bottom. And now the foot will come around there like that, and that will come down and join it. Again, here this comes down there, and then this will come in there and kind of join it. And then we'll have kind of little dancing pumps and little heels, not too big. Then when you are convinced and sure that the ink is dry, then you can erase all those pencil lines. And I'm just going to put a little bit of kind of shadow in there. I'll maybe put a bit more hair up there. You could put a bit of shadow in there. And I'm going to give her polka dots. So I'm going to do this by going all around the edge first with semicircles. And then kind of start filling in between. I think you might get a bit muddled, like I'm getting muddled, but don't worry about that. Maybe a little bit of shadow under the skirt there. Then I'm going to put a bit of shadow in there. Now I'm going to do all this next bit on Patreon only, and so I'm going to do something like that, and we're going to want pop Fantastic. Just to make it a little bit more groovy. And you know, as a little bit of fun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little record player in the corner here as well. Got to have it dancing to something, and I'm going to have that just behind there like that. So it's kind of like a box. Start off with a box and lines across there. Those will be the legs, and that'll be the back leg. And then got the thickness of the box, then that will come down like that. And we're going to want to see a disc playing in there with the thingy-me-jiggy-me on it, and there'll be a thing going across, and then we'll see the top of the record player box like that. So I'm going to draw that all the way to the ground there and across and down, and then we'll want that bit there, and that will come up to there. So it's basically a box, and it's just kind of working your way around the construction of it. And you know, my very first videos are all about, you know, learning to draw boxes, and this is where just getting that idea of a box right inside your head, this is where it kind of all comes and pays off, to be able to, you know, draw boxes from any angle like that. And then we'll want that going up there, that there, and across to there, and then we want a little bit of thickness inside and that will go across there. And then we want to see the back leg as well, don't we? And we're going to want to see the inside of that leg and the inside of that leg, and this is going to be grooving away with little music things. I think they were very keen on the sort of stave notes and things like that at the time, weren't they? And that kind of thing. I better put a little bit of shading in that as well. And I think we're going to have some shading in under there as well, there. Probably along the back edge there and down there. And I'm also going to put some sort of hard off-line shading here, just like that. Quite simple shading. Shadow, really, rather than shading, isn't it? A set-off shadow. Okay, I'm going to do this in a kind of a pinky red. Just maybe what I'll do. The skirt in, I'm not sure. I think the record player should be in a kind of groovy green. Or is there a better alliteration there? Something like groovy green or grey. I can't think of anything. And I'll shade the insides there a bit more, and the insides there. And I think we need a little bit of kind of black for the disc in there, don't we? And maybe a bit of shadow. I can put her shadow in here too, just a little bit more. Now I'm going to do the face in the same old way with a little bit of Naples yellow, and I'm going to leave a little bit for the cheeks and to the hands, arms, and then a little bit of vermilion, just a tiny bit of vermilion, and some across there, and then maybe on the nose, just under the cheek. And then I'm washing the brush, and then I'm just kind of washing that all in like that. And I need a little bit more vermilion there and there. Now for those who are kind of joining this video from YouTube, I've always talked about, you know, cartoons. My definition of a cartoon is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object, and it doesn't have to look like a Disney cartoon. It doesn't have to look like any particular style. A cartoon is just that. So this is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object. The object being the girl, of course. And so I think I'm going to give her a blue top, and maybe want a little bit of, it's not shading, it's intensifying the hue really, and I'll maybe add a bit of just as shadow like that. And one thing I'm going to do, I think I'll get a bit more blue. So this is to get a kind of effect of curvature. Then I'm going to paint a bit of blue here, and maybe add a bit of grey in as well. So this is going to be, the light source is coming from this side, and then I'm going to kind of clean my brush, and I'm going to thin there, and I'm going to thin here. It's interesting how I'm using this aqua brush more and more and more. And then I'm going to let this dry a second, and then I'm going to use this pinky kind of colour again. Maybe I'll do that sash pinky up there as well, and just try and be quite careful going around the polka dots. I suppose you don't have to be too careful, but you know, it's a reason to be careful to keep them looking dotty. And because I put that grey in underneath, this is going to, the way watercolour works is that it kind of layers over what's underneath it. Then it should gain a certain amount of kind of tonal value, which will make it look a bit curved. It'll give it that three-dimensionalness. And I can't really tell until it's finished, and then I'll have a look through the camera to see if it works. And I suppose I'm working quite fast to kind of bleed into the areas so that we don't get sort of, oh, that's gone a bit there now, so I'm going to work my way up, so you don't get sort of too many hard edges like that. Yeah, I think that works. And I think I'll give her blue shoes. Shall I blue shoes, or to kind of go with the bit of matching and a little bit of shine in them as well, like that. And then maybe add a little bit of shading there. We can put a bit more shading there, and I think essentially that is probably it. I can maybe put a bit more onto the record deck in there. Oh, I think I should have had some little controls on the front there as well, and maybe a bit of red on the label as well. So there you go, Poptastic for you, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time.